Man, J King, man, N-Sane. Sibo with us, no paperwork, you already know what it is. The legend Sibo, man, from Sacramento, man. Stomping the steel toes, though.
Come on, man.
Yeah. How's it going, Bo, man? How you doing, man? Welcome to Stockton, man.
You know, glad.
Yeah, that's right, we are in Stockton. I'm from Sacramento, too, though, but...
Yeah. Town business, baby.
Stockton treating you right?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Feel me? Every voice since the beginning.
Right.
So what you got going on right now, man? I know you still dropping music, right?
Man, I got a lot of stuff just in the backup. I'm trying to figure out what to put out there. You know what I mean? We dropping one at a time right now. You know, I got a lot of artists right now working with. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get the label.
Putting people on?
Pushing. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you've been pushing stuff for years, man. You know what I mean? And you've been a legend in the game, man. I've been one of your biggest fans since I was a kid. Like, seriously.
Hey,
I
you know what I mean?
Because it was a little off of the norm, gangsta shit, and this shit was dope as fuck, though.
Right. Your stories, though, they helped a lot of me and my homies. Some of my homies who ain't even here no more, man.
Right.
You helped a lot of us back in the day, like, you know, figure out, like, when we were lost and shit, like, we figured out what was real.
Because
we seen you, and we seen the trials and tribulations that you went through.
Yeah.
And motherfuckers really try to emulate, the not snitching, the taking it to the box.
That's old school rules. People take something, sit down behind it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
you ain't had to do it nothing.
Right.
I don't know if anyone, if many people tell you, give you your flowers for that, but we seen you stay solid, you know what I mean? And a lot of motherfuckers get unappreciated for that. They don't, you know what I mean? You stay solid, you get locked up, you do this, and it seems like it's the motherfuckers that snitch, that go out, they get all the accolades.
Right.
The motherfuckers that do
man, hey, what you did, the way your bars hit, that knowledge you had and that street shit you had in them. I'm from North Side, you're from South Side. Same town, but we heard it over there. We heard Stomping My Steel Toes. We heard he bust Cass and Marigo when he missed. We heard that shit. That shit was pumped up.
But all that stuff that you did, going against the government, going against your parole, getting locked up.
Hey, can I jump in? I'm sorry, man. Hey, didn't you end up catching time behind rap? You know what I'm saying? Behind this art?
Right.
They violated you or some shit on parole or some shit back in the day?
Yeah, what you talking about? That's what it is.
That's what I'm saying. What you did, man, I just want to give you your flowers.
Man, it's all love. Appreciate it.
Not a lot of people, I don't see a lot of people giving you the respect that you did. And a lot of people don't know, like, you had deals before motherfuckers were getting deals. Like, you had a deal with No Limit on the table, right? And it was a $200,000 deal. You took the money and you cut.
I didn't know all that. I didn't know that.
Well, that was a rumor. Can you explain that?
Nah, it was $1 million deal, but it never was functioned. It never happened. I went to prison. You feel me? When I came home from prison,
can't set out the opportunity.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you fuck up. Times that changed with the label, so they had different things going on over there. But,
what do you think the business aspect is? The difference of it from back in the day when you had those label deals on the table to today?
Well, they needed someone that can really be with the community.
Right.
You feel me? And right now, you don't have to go outside to be a rapper. You feel me?
Right.
They wanted somebody that they feel they would get up off their chair and go buy a record for. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So, hey man,
it's
different nowadays. It's different,
but you
man.
from the original in the way that it used to be held down. Now anybody can be a rapper, everybody doing that, but like, they all got to take shots at you because you sit up there in that castle, you know what I'm saying? You got a little king position from your beginners to what you are. And I'm saying, I know the new cats don't know like that. Boy, you better go look that shit up. That motherfucker, how you riding again.
Those that don't know don't need to know, homie.
Right.
That's the game. Those that don't know don't need to know. So find out when you need to know.
What kept you, I just gotta ask, man, what kept you so solid and motivated throughout the years? Like, what kept your feet on the ground, man? What kept you Bo?
Prison.
Man, that's all I know, homie. Ain't no prison, nigga. I was Bo before prison.
You wild fuck.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So, it's all I know, man, to stay solid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one way to go, period.
And if there's any advice you can give to, like, the youngsters right now who seem lost in the game, who are doing that funny shit,
man,
what can you say to them people? You know what I mean? Especially how solid you've been, all the time you've done for bullshit, like literal bullshit, like, and still remain solid.
The problem is with these youngsters, man, they don't look up to nobody.
Yeah, that's real.
They don't have nobody to look up to, homie. You feel me? Some of them really don't got a big homie because they really wasn't outside. You feel what I'm saying? They didn't want to take the chances to do what they wanted the kids to do or whatever the case may be. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just different, you know what I mean, for them. But all I can say is keep trying, keep going, man. You ain't got to do too much now. but be nice. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Be right with your
And to stay at it. You ain't even got to be nice. Just stay at it.
Hey, you know,
feel me?
and our little thing, even the big homies, someone that was like fucked up, you know, they was loaded or whatever, we still took what we knew there was knowledge in that though. We took that, we'd be around these cats.
Right.
New cats be like, oh, they loaded, I ain't listen to that. Man, them old dudes loaded because they went through it themselves, fell a little bit, but like they got knowledge in there.
Right.
Yeah, no, the old man ain't telling no young man nothing no more.
So who did you look up to in the game?
In the rap game, like who like influenced me?
Like who influenced? Who did you look up to? Who were you the one that said like, man, that's the motherfucker I wanna be like?
Well, really wasn't I wanted to be like nobody. I'm saying I wanted to have the seat that they had. You know what I mean? Like when NWA came out, Ice Cube and all that came out, they were speaking the language that we was outside doing.
Yeah.
So when you listening to that and you really living that life, you see yourself in that picture.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Well, that's how we felt about you.
Right. If you really living it, you can put yourself in that picture and really feel it. You know what I'm saying? Because you know we all go through the trials and tribulations.
Cats that
with
kept it
this
100
bullshit,
with this music, they love that kind of music because they was living that. Not they want to implement it like the new thing be. They were living that. They appreciate it because they're like, yeah, I'm living that too, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and that's the thing. We were living that. And
That's
when
how
you
we
were
click.
coming
That's how we click like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, well, like Enemy of the State. That was like one of my favorite albums.
Right.
And,
Appreciate
One
it.
Life to Live. That one you did with what's his name? Fools be talking this shit, knowing that they lost. Lurch, man.
Shit.
Man, that was
Lurch.
my man. I played that
Free
shit
Big
out.
Lurch.
Free Big Lurch,
Free
man.
Big Lurch,
Hey, can you
man.
tell me a story about Big Lurch, man? Like, he one of my favorite, besides you, but he one of my favorite, man. Can you tell
Man,
me a story?
Big Lurch a real one. That's all I can say, bro.
Hey,
Big Lurch
know.
a real one. You
that
feel me?
motherfucker is crazy, though.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
hey,
that's what they saying.
his style, though, his demeanor, the stories he told in his music, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Right.
much love to Big Lurch, man.
Straight up. Yeah.
Yeah, that particular era got kind of dark too, a little here and there. You know what I mean?
Right,
We don't
right.
just play with it. You know what I mean?
You know, hey, they being creative with their thoughts, man, and what they do, man, and hey, it's crazy. Some people flip out.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, like, I don't know, I've never seen it. Did you ever get caught up in any drugs or anything like that?
That's why I went to YA for.
Right.
Oh, you was on dope?
On dope? No, I was selling dope.
Oh, okay, that's what
why
I mean.
went. Oh no, I ain't never been on no drugs.
Well, because, you know, Big Lurch, you know, he was on one. He kind of, you know what I mean? He flipped out.
Yeah,
But-
see, some people, well, you know, I smoked PCP before, but that was a kid. But you know what I mean? We didn't know what we was doing. But the stronger your mind is, the more you can handle it. Some people, everybody's mind ain't the same, you feel me?
Yeah.
Some people, you know, man, mine ain't strong enough. That's all I can say.
Hey man, the motherfucker told me one time, he's like, expect less of people, you'll be less disappointed. I'm like, what?
Right.
I need to be on this level if you play with me, but like, everybody don't play how everybody play, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's a big thing. Like, you know what I mean? You stayed real. You stayed solid without getting into the dope. You was in the dope game selling this shit, but you wasn't doing it. You know what I mean? You stayed solid. But a lot of these cats, especially in your generation, fell off.
Of course. Everybody can't make it.
Right.
Everybody can't make it,
Right.
homie. It's a shark tank out there, man. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna try to swim across the water and make it. Most people gonna get bit. Some gonna drown.
Yeah.
It's out there, man. You feel me? It ain't for everybody, but everybody think it's for them.
Right.
You feel me? Think they can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to stand up on your own. You know what I mean?
No, that's real shit.
You know when they giving you 5, 6, 7, 8 years and shit, nigga, you got to stand on that shit.
Yeah, your team ain't
You
just
feel me?
game
And
with
leave
you.
your kids and families and all that shit,
Right.
man. They ain't ready for that shit, man.
Right.
Nah.
Right. I know we don't. We
Yeah,
never
but and things, I don't think anybody's ever ready. But I think it takes a real man, a real motherfucker to be like accountable for his own shit.
Of course.
And that's what you did.
That's how you
And
become
even
a
with the
man.
threat of you getting, you know, using lyrics against you, and hey, if you rap about this, you're getting a parole violation.
I mean,
You
what
still
was the
did it.
details of that,
Put
though?
a middle
Like,
finger to the system and like, fuck you.
it was parole that hit you on that or some shit?
Yeah, it was in my paperwork. I couldn't promote gang violence or violence against law enforcement or hang with the homies and none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it was all a bunch of that gang bullshit, you know.
Yeah.
And one thing I wanted to
guessing, you must be on gangster suppression unit 2 back in the day,
Yeah.
one thing I want to talk to you about is like you always say you're your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and I assume you're talking about Pac.
Yeah.
Because I know Pac, you know what I mean, he was a fan of yours.
Right,
Like real
right.
shit.
Yeah, straight up.
You know, can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Pac?
Man, me and Pac, we really just had met before he died. You feel what I'm saying? It wasn't a really big relationship. I just noticed that he had a love for me, you know what I mean? That he was looking for me and, wanted to, invite me to his album in his life. So once we did once he put me on the album, All Eyes on Me, you know what I mean? He was on tour, I was on the road, I was going back and forth to jail, and then all that shit just happened that quick. You feel what I'm saying? But man, it was nothing but love every time we seen each other, though. You feel what I'm saying?
Time real street
mad
cats
love,
give you attribute.
bro. It's family.
It just
And
solidifies.
speaking of Pac, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, the new generation, they see Pac differently. They're like, oh yeah, Pac was gay, or Pac wasn't a real gangster, he's a studio gangster. But what we lived through the Pac era, right? We seen, like, there's no way he could be a studio gangster when he actually did more shit than half of these gangsters in the streets.
Right.
But he did it with cameras on him. I'm talking about he shot the cops. You know what I mean? He shot two
Tupac.
police officers.
That's it. That's
You
it.
know what I mean? Like how many motherfuckers can
How much more gangster can you be?
Right. And there's a lot of people that say, oh, Pac wasn't a real gangster because he came from the East Coast, moved for the West Coast.
Right.
What that got to do with it?
Right.
They got gangsters everywhere, man.
You playing that way and yanking and all this shit anyway. You already really
You know, let me tell you something. Until the day that you choose to become a gangster, I don't give a fuck if you're 10, 18, 35, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
That day that I choose to say, nigga, I'm a gangster, nigga, then that's what it is.
It's on the popping there.
And that's
Feel
real
me?
shit.
And if that's what I think and I believe, that's what it fucking is. Find out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then
Right.
what else? You know?
Right.
And I'm not trying to bring up Pac in a negative light, but I just wanted to put it out there like, man, in your eyes, he was a real motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean,
but no,
shit,
really
he did
though,
real
so
shit.
From the outside looking in
He
for
called
me,
some real gangsters up, brought them to the table, and fed them.
Right.
You know
I'm
what
like
saying?
blatantly he was
That's
feeling
real
it.
to me. He wasn't scared of no gangsters.
Right.
You feel me? If
He
he
was
wasn't
in
a
the
gangster,
mix.
he wasn't afraid of no gangsters because he was surrounded with nothing but gangsters.
Right.
So, people just, they got their way. Opinion like an asshole, man. Everybody got an opinion.
Yeah. But it's mostly the younger generation that
Yeah,
says
they
that
don't
now
know.
because I think it's a lot of hating. I think it's a lot of blatant hating, you know what I mean? Because people, they see his shine and they don't see it, they don't feel it, but they weren't around at the time that he was.
Nah, man. They ain't doing the shit that we was doing back then,
Nah,
man.
not
They
even
ain't out there
almost
like
kinda.
that.
And one thing I always wanted to ask you, where were you during the East Coast, West Coast thing? Like, what was your mind state during the whole East and West Coast?
Man, I'm saying, shit, I'm from the West Coast. I wasn't in the beef or nothing, but I was riding with the West. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else? I have to.
Right.
I couldn't, at that point in my life, I had to. You feel me? So,
Did Pac ever hit you up about that?
nah. It's like, when you from the hood, you ain't got to hit the real niggas up. They know what it is. What's happening? When we going? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? We just, they did what they did. I was probably in jail most of the time.
Right.
But, I really never had a real beef with them. But, as far as the West, I
That
ride
part,
with
hey,
the
look.
West.
Let me just dive in. Like, I got a friend did a lot of YA time. He goes, you think I asked Tebow when he did that thing with the C14 thing? Like, he made my time harder. He be talking about that shit to this day and shit.
What are you talking about?
I've been saying, I don't know if we're gonna touch on that, but like,
The
did you have a hand in that
C14.
shit? Yeah.
C14.
What about it?
So
I'm just wondering, brother.
So we had a homie. He was a blood. Kicked it with a lot of Norteños back in the day.
He said he got
and then
the
when
YA,
you did the
couldn't do this shit no more.
C14 thing, he went into YA and he made his time harder because he was cool with Norteños, but
Oh,
then
yeah,
C14
no more.
came out.
Yeah.
It was like, nah, not no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
because look, I'm a Norteño,
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
So, I'm about 44 years old, man, but I'm a Norteño, you know what I
right.
mean? So, we were around when it was C14, like it came out to the streets,
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
were
yeah.
doing that shit,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And so, can you tell me a little bit about that? I know you touched on it in another podcast.
Yeah,
Just touch on it a little bit.
like I said on the other one, the Serengos and the white boys that hooked up, and I was cool with a Mexican from Stockton, Norteño,
Right.
named Wedo. He's from CSL. I don't know if it's still whatever, but back then that's what it was. You feel me?
Central Stockton Locals,
That's
yeah.
where he was from, homie.
Shout out to them.
And we used to talk all the time. He was a short motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it came to a point where he was like, man, these motherfuckers is teaming up. And the Bloods that teamed up with the Bay Area, we was the only motherfuckers
Kinda
left.
alone
You feel
in
me?
it, yeah.
So we was like, shit, what's happening? Me and him. And I went and talked to my homies. He went and talked to his, and then shit, we came together and said, well, we're gonna solidify by kicking off a ride. You know what I mean? Like let's let these motherfuckers know what it is if we gonna be this. You feel me? That's what we did. Yeah, shit.
And that shit you did in CYA, it spread out to the streets because we started riding that C14 thing. You started seeing the tagging on the wall, C14. Man, I was even riding that shit. You know what I mean? 'Cause it was crazy because I had a lot of blood homies, I had a lot of Crip homies, I had a lot of Asian homies. I was North End, but there were Southerners, you know, in Stockton at the time. So it was like we were all fuck Southerners, like on the real, you know what I mean? But, you know, shout out to the Crip homies back then, you know what I mean? We was rocking, you know, and that was a big part. And I didn't even know until recently that you were like a big part of that.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
sure.
So you're in the history books. You know
sure.
what I mean? As far as CYA, even in the streets, you know, in Stockton,
my boy
you
was
in the
making that
history
joke a
books.
lot. I had to throw it out there. He'd be like, man, that's why my tie was harder.
hey man,
I couldn't be friends with my friends no more.
It's chess out there.
Hey,
man.
and South Sac always had a big tie with Stockton Cats.
You said what?
South Sac always had a tie with Stockton Cats.
It's the 29th Street, where the Garden Block and the North Side Gangsta Crips.
Yeah.
So it's always been Sac Stockton type
Gotcha.
of issue, no matter. You
That's
feel
what
me?
I thought. Something like
Ain't never had no beef outside of that in Stockton.
Right.
It's just me and our hoods was like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From Juvenile, you know,
Yeah,
Juvenile and YA and shit, you know, they right next door.
91, all that shit too, man, way back.
Yeah, so what do you think about the whole situation right now, like as far as like these other rappers snitching and shit, getting on like Gunna and 6ix9ine?
We all think it's not okay.
Like coming out from your era, right? Who
That's what happens, man, when you get a Justin Bieber, homie. You feel me? Like you get in this motherfucker that really ain't part of the hood, and you're trying to make him be part of something that he not. And that motherfucker was one of them little dirty, snotty-nosed kids running around the block in the hood. He not gonna be ready.
Right.
This motherfucker know if daddy been locked up, uncle been shot, mama been pimped on, he already ready for the shit.
Where is the separation? That shit didn't exist in our era.
The more you go through is what makes you who you are, man. If you ain't went through shit, you probably ain't shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just ain't been tested.
Right.
You stay over there in the good places. Stay out of the way. You know what I mean?
Right.
As soon as you get in the way, you're gonna be telling.
Right.
Yeah, they just let them in now and I've been tried and true to some shit. Like, what you ride with this guy for? You know.
And that's the thing though, like, because it's always been about fuck snitches. Now, I hear a lot of people say like, oh man, he ain't snitched on me. Okay, it ain't up to you to take him out because he ain't snitch on you, but it's your job to shun him. It's your job to not show him no love.
Yeah.
It's your job to keep that motherfucker away from
It
him.
depends who you are.
Right.
You a square motherfucker, it really don't matter to you. That's why it don't matter, because you're a square, you're not doing anything.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
But a motherfucker who claims the streets.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
He liable to snitch too, homie.
Right.
He think it's fair game, you feel me?
Right. And that's where a lot of people are seeing it, like, because I don't mean to mention no names, but like Wack 100 was doing that stuff with 6ix9ine, you know what I mean, as his manager, and he's chalking it up like, oh, he was a square to begin with, but he was actually trying to live that life, and he snitched on some real motherfuckers, so you should need to stay the fuck out of that shit, in my opinion. Now, you can speak on it if you want to or not. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? It's not like a setup thing, but I'm just telling you, in my opinion, man, Wack 100 had a duty being a blood not to fuck with a snitch, not to promote a snitch,
just
not to be part of that lifestyle.
Gang in it, but like in
You
general.
know, hey, people do what they want to do,
They
man.
do,
You are,
they do,
like I
do
said,
that.
you know, hey, man, I don't know. People do what they want to do.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's as real as it goes.
And then ultimately,
man.
if you feel protected enough to make a weird move, I guess you just weird now. I don't do it. I'm pretty sure you'll do it.
I don't politic, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm past the politics, man.
Right.
Man. Now, is there anything you want to say, man? I want to wrap this up, but I want to know if there's any last thing you want to say, any words, anything you got to say to the people.
Nah, just keep your eye out, because we working and we got a lot of shit coming. You know what I mean? We got a lot of shit stacked up, you know, and we finna start dropping some shit. So
Who you working with right now?
Man, I got shit. My artists, you mean?
Yeah, your artist.
Yeah.
D-Rock, Marvelous, Pizzo, still.
Marvelous coming out.
Marvelous still got shit.
I gotta hear that.
You know what I'm saying?
Pizzo coming back.
Lil Dog. I got Young Cat, fucking Lil Daddy the Don,
Put out
Chino 400. Man, we kind of We got him deep.
Oh shit.
Zay Money, you know, rest in peace, my little nephew Zay Money. He just passed, but we finna drop a bunch of his shit. You know what I'm saying? So you know, hey man, that's it. That's what it is. West Coast Mafia, rest in peace, Zay Money, man.
You still mess with the Thug Missus?
Yeah, I mess with Thug Missus. You know?
Yeah, because I remember I met her back in the day with you back in Fairfield. She was there too. I IG'd her a couple of pictures that we had with her and Big Tone when they were in the studio. Fat Tone, I'm sorry.
Fat Tone.
Fat Tone in the studio and shit. I IG'd her and she was like, oh man, that's back in the day. It was a little young Thug Missus.
Yeah, I need some of the pictures, man.
Hey, I got you, man. I'll send you on the IG, man. A whole bunch of those pictures that we got from back in the day, man.
For sure.
Man, dude. All I want to say, dude, to wrap it up, man, is you a legend, man. Like I feel like, you know what I mean? Like I ain't no fanboy or nothing, but
man, real niggas, real motherfucker.
Like, I'm a
man.
fan of your music. But before I'm a fan
man.
of your music, and I've said this before on this podcast, I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of the person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you showed not only in your lyrics, but who you are in your everyday life. The trials and tribulations you went through, you showed that you a solid motherfucker.
I appreciate it.
And you deserve more accolades and merit than half of these weenies out here. Half of these suckers is out here doing this dumb shit, making millions and shit. If I could, man, I'd give you $10 million just on the strength because I grew up off of you, man. So I just want to let that. It ain't no sucking shit, bro.
Nah,
It ain't no asking.
I know where I'm at, homie.
I gotta give you your flowers, bro, because I don't think enough people give you your flowers as being a real solid individual.
Right.
J King?
Yeah. Motherfuckers that grew up around whatever, you know, that time of music, bumped your shit and respected your shit too. That's why they fuckers with you.
Right.
And it was already people heavy on in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's like a stamp of like, yeah, you already know. I know it too.
Yeah.
I heard that shit. I was like, damn, man.
You
this
had
motherfucker
Bloods
powerhouse
bumping your
shit.
shit. You had Crips. You had Norteños. I don't even know if
It's
you
Bloods listen to that
understand
shit too.
how many Norteños you had in Stockton bumping your shit. Like, I mean, if you went to Tower Records back in the day when SIBO dropped the album, you see more Red Flags Mexicans lining up than anybody else. You know what I mean? It wasn't just Crips bumping your music.
Right.
There was a bunch of white boys there too, but I'm telling you, there was a gang of Norteños because we would fight for your CDs. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know how many times my CD got stolen from homies and I would steal your shit back.
Right.
But it's some real shit.
Yeah.
And I want to say thank you, man, for coming on.
We appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you to the fullest, man. And I hope we get you back on some other time. You know what I mean? When it ain't so loud and when there's not a lot of stuff, we can get deep down into the game. You know, I want to get into the AWOL shit and all that other stuff. But if we can come back, man, because I know we barely skimmed the surface of the history.
All the goods,
I mean, motherfuckers don't know when they say legend, you a legend.
Right.
Man, appreciate
You know what I mean?
Right, we stuck him in.
Appreciate you.
He supposed to perform, we stuck him in. We started him up for a minute.
No Paperwork Podcast.
No Paperwork Podcast.
And
Sibo
we out,
J
man.
King
Hey,
N-Sane.
Sibo, the bald-headed
Already
nut,
know.
man. No Paperwork Podcast, man.
Yeah,
we out.
And ain't no paperwork on me, man.
Hell no, never that.
Yeah.
Peace out.